Hello and welcome. Today's lesson is about how to sing musical theater style and a classical style, combining this what we call legit voice with our more speaky voice and what we use in theater. It's also going to help you with certain registration issues that you might have. It's also known as like cross-training for the voice. That's a very popular term right now, and I really love it for young singers who like to sing in that kind of pop and musical theater style, but who are also wanting to expand their ranges and find that more legit sound that we associate with classical singers. Okay, so this exercise is going to be very basic. It comes from speech. We're going to work with the numbers that are in the 90s. So everyone say 90. When I say 90, I'm using that in 90. And I'm just speaking as though I'm trying to tell the person across the street. 90. So we're going to take all the numbers. We're going to 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99. Okay, great. That's the first level. So you can practice that kind of speaking and elevating your speech, okay? The second element is that we're going to speak the number, and then I'm going to give you a pitch, okay? So we're going to do, let's start with 91. So we're going to say 91. I'm going to give you a pitch, 91, and then I'm just going to try to say it exactly like I would, but I'm just saying it on this pitch. So I'll do it again for you. 91, 91. All right, then I'm going to add the third component, which is I'm actually going to add another note to it. So it goes like this. I speak the number 91. I speak it on this pitch, 91, and then I do 91. All right, so there's 3 levels to it. Let's do it on this note together. So first, speak it like you're telling the person across the street. Let's do 92. 92, 92, 92. Fabulous. Let's do our fabulous 93. 93, 93, 93. Awesome. Moving on up. Let's do 94. 94, 94, 94. Again, 93 this time. 93, 93. 93. Good. Go back to 92. 92. 92. 92. Fabulous. Now let's talk a little bit about what we want to be feeling here. When you're told singing should be like speech, it is very correct. However, not everyone speaks correctly. So I want you all to check in on your speech. If you tend to be someone who kind of speaks off their voice, like this, and you kind of let it, what we call like a lot of vocal fry, and you never really elevate your speech, this is not where we want it to be. Notice I'm wanting my sound of speech and the way that I talk to be very forward. So a way to practice that would be to take any kind of book, anything that you're reading, and try to elevate it. It can be like a monologue, it'd be just anything. So I would just take this book that I'm reading. So you will notice that the suggested exercises we are including in this chapter, so I'm exaggerating as though I'm like some Shakespearean actor and I'm trying to tell the person across the street or in another room. I'm not shouting, I'm really using my resonators. I can even draw some of that sound to be a little more nasal if I need it to be. Notice that we use the N, we use the numbers that start with 90 so that we are feeling the sound to be very, very forward. So take that up and down your range. Let's do it a little bit higher. Girls, we're gonna start here. Boys, you'll be here. So let's do the number 92 here. So 92, 92, 92. Fabulous. Let's take it up one more. So let's do 93, 93, 93. 93. Fabulous. How about here? Men, you'll be here. All right, ladies, let's do 92 here. 92. 92. 92. Fabulous. How about a few more? 93. 93. 93. Wonderful. 94 here. 94. 94. 94. Now you'll notice that I'm using some higher levels of speech just to get you used to extending your range up into what we call your legit or your head voice. Men, you can kind of play around with that being in your falsetto. Again, none of this is to be tight. None of it is to be, if there's any pain or strain, that is definitely not what we want. But we do have to train these muscles to have more power behind them, and you might feel a sensation. But sensation is different than pain, so be careful with it. All right, so I love that exercise. Another exercise that's just super great for developing this clarity in the speech that you can translate over into your musical theater would be something just like, you're just gonna say something like, hey, you over there, okay? Repeat after me. Oh, no, you don't. Hey, you over there. Hey, taxi. Oh, yes, I can. Oh, no, you can't. Hey, taxi. Oh, yes, I can. Oh, no, you can't. Notice when I do the no, I'm using that in again to travel into my mask, to keep things in here and not here, okay? Let's do hey, taxi again. Here. Hey, taxi. Fabulous. Women, as you're going up into this upper extension and you're wanting to keep that musical theater sound, you think more east to west in your mouth, okay? And I think of like there being like a big smile. Ah, ah, ee, ah. Repeat that. Ah, ee. Okay, so hey, taxi. Hey, you. Hey, you. Notice that that sound is feeling like it's kind of doing that, but it's very forward as well. Different than hey, you, and letting tons of air escape and not really using my resonators. All right, so those are two exercises that can really help you with all this kind of speech-oriented patter singing of musical theater nowadays. Now, how do we sing in legit voice if we were going to do something like Rodgers and Hammerstein that needed that, or we're going to learn a classical piece? Well, let's do this. We're going to think more north to south in the mouth now, and I want everybody to take your fingers and just do this. It's almost like they're trying to touch. It just helps me drop my jaw a little bit. And we're going to use an H and we're going to sigh. So it goes like this. Ha, ha, ha. Now, when I'm doing that, I'm still thinking about this forward placement. I'm still thinking about that I want that sound to travel more in my mask than I am if I go, ha, ha, like that, right? So let's do it again. Extend ourselves, and we're going to do this little pattern. So if you do numbers, it's 5, 3, 5, 3, 2, 1. And if you do solfege, it's sol, mi, re, do. Okay, just so that you have the scale pattern in your head. The exercise is just going to be on who. So we're going to go who, 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 who. Your turn. Feel long and tall. Your turn. And there. Your turn. And here. Your turn. Fabulous. Now, we are also in the same registration that we were in when we were doing Hey Taxi. Okay, but we're using a different placement, a different color, and we're letting that sound be a little more north to south than we are east to west. So let's do another exercise that will help us stretch up into that more classical sound. We're gonna start here. Ooh, 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 ooh. Let me do that again for you. Ooh, 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 ooh. Your turn. make it up a little taller, a little higher. So keep letting your jaw release, get some space. Nice. All right, here we go here. Your turn. Now, when you're going up, it's very important that you don't feel like things are closing, but that you want to think that, ooh, if anything, it kind of stays where it is. Ooh, ooh, ooh. I don't want to go, ooh. That's a more musical theater sound. It would be great if you're doing like a character sound. There's nothing wrong with that. Again, when we're doing these kinds of exercises, we're learning to build our color palette so that we can be this character or this character. And we just figure out like what is stylistically correct for the piece of music that we're doing, okay? So let's do it here. It's going up a little bit higher. Men, you might be at this point feeling, if you are a lower voice, that this is beyond your range if you're here, but you can always drop it down the octave. Ladies, you should be okay here. So let's do this. We're gonna do this. Ooh, 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 ooh. Your turn. Fabulous. Last one. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Good. Now, you can take that same exercise and start it from the top and go to the bottom. And I highly recommend that you do that. We want to feel, sometimes it's easier to feel the space as we start at the top as opposed to the way we feel it in the middle. All right, because most of you are probably used to singing pop music and musical theater, the lower, middle, and the kind of speaky patterns might be a little more accessible. So let's start it. Let's do this exercise. We're going to do 3 little pulses and then coming down. So it goes like this. Your turn. Good. Let's switch the vowel to E. Your turn. Now let's switch it to O. And oo. Good. And the entire time that I'm doing these kinds of exercises that are encouraging me to get into my head voice, I'm really making sure that the column in which I sing into, the space in which I create when I get ready to sing, kind of maintains its shape. So in other words, if I'm starting it really tight, it's going to stay there. I want to make sure that I'm feeling a really stable throat, a jaw that comes unhinged a little, and that the jaw is gravitating more towards behind my upper teeth than here. And I want to feel that I'm elongating. Now, let's just recap all that. So when I'm doing more musical theater, it's smiley, it's east to west, it's nya 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 nya. Hey taxi, hey you there, ah ah. So it feels really kind of flat in the mouth. When I do, hey taxi, hey you there, I think more up and down. And so that's going to give us style. That's going to give us character. It's going to give us color. And it's going to help us with registration issues as we grow and as we move along. So I hope this helps, and good luck with your singing.